I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3-on-3 podcast. That's right. You're tuned in to the number one basketball podcast in the universe. I'm joined with my guys, my compadres, my amigos. You got Ev down here, my boy Lou, and the Pod Mamba in the background, making sure we continue to be the number one basketball podcast. We have a great show in store for you today. We're going to be going down some good, interesting topics today. I mean, that's what we do here. We'll be talking about Jason Tatum, his return from his Achilles. Is it too soon or is it right on time? Then we'll go out west, see what's going on with Luka Magic, man, and what's going on. He's been in the headlines lately. We'll dive into that. What's going on with Luka Magic? And speaking of Magic, ATL's doing a Magic City night, which is causing a lot of controversy. We'll get into that along with Russ crashing out and Rookie of the Years. It's heating up. So we have a great show in store for you guys today. But let's get right into it. The first topic, Jason Tatum. After suffering a Achilles injuries in last year's playoff, he made his debut this week against the Dallas Mavericks at home in Boston, coming back under 10 months, about what they say 250 days or so. That's when he made his debut. To everybody's surprise, I know they were teasing it and there were different conflicting reports saying, yeah, he's ready to go, but he's going to sit out. And then it was going back and forth, but it was official. He came out, played his first game. They got a dub. I'll start off with you, Ev. What are your initial thoughts with JT coming back so soon after an Achilles rupture?
So I'll start off with a little messiness because it's me. I'm supposed to. Anytime your last
You're
time
gonna
on
talk
the
about all the
court.
Achilles ruptures? Is that what
Oh
you're
no, I'm gonna talk about
okay?
his last
I thought he
game
was
on the
gonna give
court
us like
prior
a
to Friday night.
lineage.
Anytime your last game on the court is seeing your series go away to the New York Knicks in the game that we had won already, and we were about to close them out the following night, right? Anytime that's the last taste in your mouth, I understand that pushes rehab very aggressively to get back onto the court, as soon as possible. So it was one of the worst kept secrets, to be honest, in the season. From the
No,
beginning of the
right? No,
season.
no, 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 no. I gotta stop you. You
Okay,
think
you gotta stop me.
Tatum really came back just because of y'all? Come on, just because of the Knicks? Really, really?
I don't know what drove that, man. But I'm saying that we're often impacted by the last thing that
No,
happened
you
to
just
us,
said like when you
So
see certain terms of standings, this, that, and there's a change. This, come on, man. You think really Tatum came back because of y'all? Come
I mean, he hasn't said that that's not the reason. So I'll go with my assumption until we
It's
hear
on. I
plausible,
otherwise.
can.
right?
Okay,
No,
It's
okay, okay.
plausible.
Oh, man. Here we go.
but I said, oh no, I'm not gonna call them jokes, but all shade aside, uh, I think he jumped into rehab aggressively, and so I've been hearing all season that he had expectation of coming back. When you have a film crew, filming and documenting, your rehab, you intend on making a splash back. And when you look at where this team is at right now, I can make Knicks jokes all I want. Boston's number 2 in the West, not us right now.
Mhm.
They have an identity that has carried them through this season, and so I think when you're looking at Tatum, when you've been in the league 9 years and you've been successful, right, every one of those years, but you've had those high profile losses before you made it to the championship, you realize how difficult it is to win an NBA championship. And so I think they look at it as, we are here, we have an opportunity to prolong, this run that we've been on. These opportunities aren't guaranteed. So if he can get back on the court and help his team potentially be in the mix, that's what he's pushing for.
I'm curious as soon as like as well as Jalen Brown has been performing all season. Really, what does that mean? In terms of the chemistry, in terms of obviously they haven't had the chemistry because they won a championship together. But like, okay, cool. Brown JB has been at the helm, what I mean, all season. JT comes back. And I think there's also a level, and you guys can disagree with me in terms of this. Like, yo, JT also is looking about what the media or the average, folks is trying to talking about like, oh, him coming back. All right, what does that mean? Should he sit out, etc., etc. Does that play a role in terms of why he feels like he should come back and step on the court?
I'll say, and Hans, I'll let you go. What I think about that to an extent, we've talked about this Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum relationship now, I feel like for 8 years. Most relationships, NBA partnerships don't last this amount of time, right? I mean, the amount of hours that they've put in together, and we've never had a legitimate story of them, beefing or not being on one accord or whatnot. You start to wonder at some point, maybe that's just us. Not us as in us three, but just us overall. Like, they've been doing it for 8 years. I think they cool. I think they got it right. They
We're
brothers.
trying to make it
And
bigger than what it actually is.
at this point, there's been no smoke. So I mean, I don't think there's fire.
Yeah, I think it's a part of it, but I think it's a small part. And I don't think the energy is even really towards Brown. I think it's more so of, yeah, I forgot who I am and what I do, right? So to piggyback on what Ev's saying, like, yeah, we've been throwing stuff in there, and that's because we're used to it. We're used to two players at such a high caliber eventually saying, look, somebody has to be the alpha, and I want that. And if I'm honest, I think from what I've seen from Jalen Brown is he wants to let everybody know he has that capability, but necessarily doesn't want to do that for his team. He doesn't want to go out and have his own team and be that guy. He wants to let you know I am that guy though. Like, don't disrespect my name. Like, I have that capability. I just choose not to because I honestly have other endeavors and things that I want to do. And basketball is a means to an end for me. I'm here to get these chips to be great, but it's not my life. I don't hang my identity on it. And it's shout out to him. So for him, I think it's more, and I think that's the reason that partnership is working like it is because
He's
Jalen
cool with
doesn't
being that
have,
player number two. He's cool with being
yeah,
being Robin to Batman. I
he's
guess.
cool with like saying, understanding, like, look, I'm two, but I'll let you guys know real quick, like, I'm a two by choice, not by classification.
So,
So
but my question is in terms of like I understand it being by two by choice, but in terms of what the the synergy in terms of like what it is in terms of like the nature of what the team has been able to accomplish and being able in terms of what it is that the identity that they have built to get to this level of momentum. How does it really make sense for Tatum to then be integrated? Because that's really one at the end of the day, that's going to be the biggest question, right? It's like, okay, it's great that Tatum is back, but we've already seen that the Celtics are able to maintain their level of excellence and be where they are right now. So now that we're bringing Tatum back into it, are we able to then integrate that and then put that in terms of basically over the edge, give us that what it means to be able to be another championship team?
So to me, I think when I think through that question, right, and what I'm looking for out of Jason Tatum, your mind, automatically goes to what he's going to do from an offensive standpoint. But I'm really more focused on how does he hold up defensively, right? When you have a team that has established a strong defensive identity, right, throughout this season, and now you're plugging in Jason Tatum in that coming off a leg injury, right? Offense, you can pick and choose your spots. You can control your cadence, so to speak. Defense, that intensity has to be up, and it's driven by what the other team is doing, right? So I think defense is a lot more taxing on your body than offense. If he can hold up defensively, I think he fits in seamlessly because Jason Tatum, let's be honest, he has a game, he has an all around game, right? If it's him in the corner is more of a threat than anybody else they had in the corner up to this point, right? Him as an option to keep defense from rotating over to Jaylen Brown is more of an option than anything that they've had up to this point. So offensively, I'm not worried about that. It's if teams are targeting him on defense and the leg gives him issue, uh, that's when I think you start having questions on the integration piece. But that's my opinion.
But for me, it makes sense. You can't win a championship without Jason Tatum. The way the team is presently constructed, they're not winning a chip. They're not. So it makes sense if you want to go win a chip.
But why
That
you say that they can't win the shit without Tatum, bro?
the way
I
the team
think
is presently constructed, when you get into the playoffs and the possessions slow down and role players are less effective, you need another star. Like as much as we want to say, like the three headed, like the big three is gone, yeah, but you still need at least two. You still need a strong two, and Derek White isn't it. Unseasoned Curry isn't it. Like
Hey,
they're
yo,
not
leave him alone, bro. Like,
they're
yo,
not
leave Pritchard alone, bro.
they're
Yo,
not
just
doing it.
call him
Yeah,
by his
so
name, Hans. Call him by his name. His name is
unseasoned Curry.
Pritchard.
So now Peyton Pritchard, man, he's on my fantasy, man. He's doing me right. So he at the end of the day, yeah, they understand the East was quote unquote wide open, right? And at the end of the day, they're not gonna go, they're not gonna get out the East without Tatum. I'll say that.
no, they're not gonna win 4 out of 7 without Tatum against the other top teams in the East. A healthy Cleveland, no. A healthy Knicks, no. A healthy Detroit, no.
You slotted in
And
the Knicks in just for chicks and
say that
giggles.
again.
You slotted in the Knicks in for chicks and giggles and respect. I mean, but realistically, what it comes down to is can you beat who can beat Detroit? And I will agree with you in terms of like, yeah, you can't beat Detroit without Tatum.
Yeah, but Detroit hasn't. Let's not get too high on Detroit. Like regular season is regular season. They
Hmm?
still have to show us what they're doing translates to postseason. Now,
Ooh.
granted, I know we lauded on them last episode and gave them their props for them keeping an identity and everything like that. But at the end of the day, they still have something to prove because they got bounced last season, if I'm not
By the
mistaken.
Knicks. No, you're not
Exactly.
mistaken.
So at the end of the day, bro, like, yeah, cool,
Yeah,
you're doing that, but I don't think necessarily they're the far out team to beat in the East, if that makes
I
sense. It's
feel you.
not
No,
like
no, I
it's the
feel you.
West where it's
No, I feel you.
it's OKC, like you have
No,
to get.
but that's what I'm saying. Like for me, it's like as I'm looking at the way that they can, like they're currently constructed. It's exactly how we were talking about OKC 3 years ago. So I mean, we'll see how that ends up panning out. But I understand exactly in terms of what we're talking about. Like at the end of the days, they have to prove why they're. This is why, like in terms of like what we talk about on our last pod, in terms of like why we give certain teams a certain amount of grace, we giving them a certain amount of rope, is because they've proven what it does in terms of the Denvers and so on and so forth. Just because they've proven what it means to be effective in the playoffs. So we automatically count them in. So on the back end, even though like for me personally, I'm looking at Detroit like I was looking at OKC 3, you know what I mean, years ago, and seeing exactly where their trajectory is, but also understanding like they have to prove themselves. And this is the year that we talk about Caden really breaking out and really not necessarily in really breaking up because last year he did break out, but really in terms of solidifying himself this year. And this is why he can be in a conversation of MVP and so on and so forth. So yep, I'm on board, and I understand exactly what you're saying, and I'm support that.
I'd say just to your point, if your point is if you're making an argument that the East is more wide open than we think, I think that's all the more reason why Jason
Absolutely,
Tatum
that
comes
is
back, right?
absolutely yes.
Because if the East is wide open, adding Jason Tatum to the Celtics makes them better if he's healthy. And until otherwise, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he's healthy.
Facts. All right, fellas, let's wrap it up and move on. Let's go to the West Coast. West Coast time, specifically Luka Doncic. So the Lakers have been trying to get it together, make a
So we
current
have a full Lakers segment.
a full Lakers
That's
segment. We've
that
gone
is
like 5 episodes without one, so we're long overdue.
We have
uh,
been Lakers fasting for about a
I
month
mean,
and a half
we've been
now.
like dabbling in like Lakers, like moonlighting in church of Lakers. Oh
It's
Yeah,
like
man,
we're
it's
we
like
in
got
when you
now.
give up
full.
sugar,
Uh,
right? But you sneak in a little bit from time to time. But for the most part, we gave up sugar for the month. So
Yeah, but we're
here
here.
we
We're
are.
here now. Let's get
You're
into it.
welcome,
So
Pod Mamba. We hate you.
So Luca has been in the headlines lately for a number of reasons. And we thought, you know what fitting time to bring Luca to the 3-on-3 podcast and discuss what's going on with the Lakers and what it means for their push here towards the postseason. So there's so many ways we can get into it, but let's start about the most glaring one. So during a game, he apparently had a little dust up or a little kerfuffle, a little disagreement with JJ Redick to where he got up and one of his boys had to block him to stop him from going after JJ. They had a little discussion. So is this a sign of competitiveness or is this a red flag? What color flag is this?
Performative. Whatever color is performative. Performative.
What color red flag, orange, green, blue, whatever flag is this for the Lakers? Anybody can go at this.
All I'm saying is, if you don't got the eyes like my dog Joker, he ain't really about it.
That's true.
He tapping right into LeBron playbook of this. You know what I mean? Let it be forming. Let me be flat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, it's Showtime Lakers. Yo, do it for the love for the show, etc. etc. Keep it exciting because this is why people come and fill the seats. But like, yo, Luka, about any action. First, let me remember, like Luka's still a young boy. Like he's still like in his, you know what I mean, early. Luka's what 24.
no,
So
he's
he's
like 28.
Nah, I said he's approaching 30 if I'm not
oh
mistaken.
word. Oh, he finally got some age on it, but he still
He's
will
been
get
in the
put.
league for a while.
No, I know he been like because he also came in as a young boy, like very early as a professional. So, but then it's like, look, you're not really about the action for real. Like, like look, it's good that you again. We have to have our resident Lakers moment in our 3-on-3 podcast. However, but I mean, like, yeah, Luka is never really going to be really about the action for real. And you know what I mean? Honestly, like, yo, if he's taking the helm from LeBron, it's perfectly in line in terms of like, yeah. LeBron has never done that sort as well. So it's just a particular brand that comes with being the top player, also being the top player in the Showtime Lakers. Like, it's not going to be that at all. Oh, here we go.
Well, first and foremost, Luka Doncic is 27. Like, let's get his age right. All right, let's get his age right. Over here talking
Go
about
ahead,
30.
go ahead.
Over here talking about 23.
Sorry, he was
27.
20. I say he was 25. I
He
mean,
just
like,
turned
okay, he's
27.
27. Okay, cool, bro.
Now this is all.
Anything else?
This isn't performance. It's just competition. This is just high competition from a former athlete and a current athlete. But it ain't nothing. This ain't nothing, guys. It's nothing. It's nothing. All right,
Small potatoes.
Vando
Bro,
got
it's
up. You know,
absolutely
he did what he had to do as a good teammate. He stopped him. But this is nothing, guys. We've seen this all. We've seen this in the history
unless
of
I
the
see
NBA.
Luca look at and talk crazy to Joker as his you know what I mean?
Well, when JJ Redick sticks out his hip to trip over Luka, then maybe
Nah.
I
maybe
don't
it'll
wait
look
that,
like
bro.
Joker.
Like they're from the same region. Like it's Unc, you already didn't talk about. It's like being from Brooklyn and being from Harlem. Like
Listen, man. If you don't want, I don't want to get into the social dynamics of Serbian versus Slovenian and their history. Like, I don't want to get into that. All right, that's a whole different discussion.
You know what though?
everybody
I-
loved when they were playing together, but now like if it's on the opposite side, nobody want to talk about that. I bet you got it.
So I think this is going to be rare for me, but I feel bad for JJ in the sense of I think he has to manage two divas in LeBron and Luca, and two two guys who don't like to take direction when they're on the court. They want to run it. They're used to doing things how they want to do it, right? They're used to having the last say so and making things happen. And what I saw there was the competitive nature, like Pod Mama was saying, essentially just come to a head. Like, I think it should go this way. You think it should go this way. Who's going to get the final say so on this one? And JJ pulled his coach card as he should, right? Like, at the end of the day, you know, do what you got to do to get your team in order. But I low key do feel bad for him because it's like I feel like he's trying to balance these. And what happens when Luka and LeBron are not on the same page? So the last game I watched the Lakers play, the Denver game, right? It was interesting because that game was up and down, and really I saw the Lakers getting more in rhythm when LeBron was on the floor and Luka was off the floor. So it was just so it's interesting to see that Lakers dynamic. And for me, if anything, I'm leaning more on the Pod Mamba in the side of it's not anything too huge, but if anything, it's a sign of there's still kinks that are currently still being worked out in the Lakers camp right
Can I
there.
add context to what you just said though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Per the play-by-play announcer on the radio for the Lakers, John Ireland, what he said on his radio show is that JJ went to Luke when Luka first got here. JJ went up to Luka and asked him, Do you want me to coach you do you want to be coached, or do you want to be treated as a superstar, like let you do whatever the fuck you want, I'll get the fuck out of the way, you could do your own thing, or do you want me to get in your face and coach you? And Luka told him, per John Ireland, that he wants to be coached.
How else would you answer that question?
I was about to say, bro, like you can't answer that any other way.
LeBron probably doesn't answer it like that. LeBron wants to be treated like
Question
this.
doesn't get posed to
Oh, wait,
LeBron.
thank you. Like nobody, like that question's never even getting posed. Not even
Goes to LeBron.
Yo, and
They're
realistically,
but Hans
No,
talked
no,
about
no,
they're
no,
both
no, 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 no.
superstars
Oh,
and
no,
they're
no,
both
no.
acting the same. They're both
Pop,
divas.
mama, let's
And
be
I'm
real.
saying
Like, yo,
that Luka wants to be coached by JJ. And so what happened at that time when they butted heads there is JJ trying to coach his ass.
I don't think it was necessarily coaching. I think that they were in terms of like, I think Luka's looking for a partner. Like, I don't think Luka's looking for a coach. You know what I mean?
Go ahead,
He had a
jump on it,
coach.
Ev.
Yeah,
Hold on a second,
yo,
Lou. Jump on
Well-
it. Jump on it, Ev, real quick.
So I
wait, hold on.
agree.
So, wait, hold on. That's how you.
You're disrespectful,
So,
Lou.
we
Let
just
Evan
gonna
talk,
just, like,
man.
So you don't
Go
care
ahead.
about him, Mate. You know what, Hans?
Hold on. Let him.
I'm
let him go,
gonna
Lou.
stop speaking because personally I feel like
Don't make me meet your
not
ass.
because of you, Hans.
Go ahead.
I feel like Luka felt right now, and JJ tried to grab his hand like that. Somebody gonna have to hop up before Lou gets back out of his seat. Where's Vando when we need him? Who's the Vando of this pod right now?
There is no Vando.
So I'm in the middle, kind of what everybody's saying. Like, I agree, JJ coaching him, right? And this isn't the first time they've kind of gone back and forth, walking off the court or whatnot. Like, so I mean, they have that dynamic. I agree, JJ's kind of in an impossible situation. I mean, you've got the Luka angle, you've got the LeBron angle, and you've got the incompleteness of the roster angle, right? So it's like this roster is not the best fit for what Luka does best, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of a transition year to begin with. I think just what gets, I don't want to say troubling, but you start looking at it and you're like, okay, does Luka? I'm gonna bring this to what we've talked about from a KD standpoint. Is Luka a leader or is Luka just a player? Right? Exceptionally talented. I think we agree. Exceptionally talented. But he plays a style that we criticize James Harden for, right? Where the numbers look great, but he's the system when he's at his best, right? And so can you play that style and not have leadership intangibles? And when you put those two together, what does that do for the dynamic of the team as a whole? I think Dallas struggled to figure that out. And I think we're at a beginning phase of Will the Lakers be able to figure that out? Will JJ Redick be able to figure that out? Because you got to make decisions, roster decisions based around that.
So here's my thing though. I 100% agree with the likeness comparisons, right? Because if we're honest, Luca's, his game is definitely more James Harden than it is Kevin Durant. But in fairness to Luca, he led his team to the finals, right? And that's where I would kind of give him the edge in that he does have some leadership skills and capabilities. So
I'm gonna ask you this question: was it because he led his team, or because he showed up in the moments that he was supposed to?
no, he led his team because of the people that he beat along the way to get out of that Ant series. Like he pushed his team. I'll say he led his team because I've been watching Luca. Remember, it wasn't last season, it was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, but it's 2 seasons
I had
ago.
him for the MVP, right? Just
We've
seeing
had him.
how
We've
And my
had him
argument
almost
was
every
about
year.
coaching. My argument was about coaching. My argument was just like, yo, the coaching
no,
is
I don't think it was coaching. I think Luca seized the moment and pushed his team to and willed his team to that championship. I
the
don't
reason
think
why
it
I
was
say the reason I bring us coaching when and J Kid is able to come up with a random fake number in terms of like where you fall in terms of defensive rating, and you quote unquote work that hard to then like reach a certain level above in terms of conversation of defensive rating of conversation. And it's like, yo, honestly, bro, like honestly, that was fake. I just found a way to give you motivation. I I I would venture to say, you know what I mean, and again, I may be going out on a limb that Luca, not just himself, but he's, you know what I mean, he has poured into like, yo, I may be the best player on the team, but I need to make sure that everything is around me in terms of is clicking the way it's supposed to. So if my team in terms of the defensive level and defensive prowess, in terms of what we need to be this type of team that's in terms of formidable for us, and that what it then brought us to the champ to like have a conversation, or rather be in terms of the chip, is because I also bought into that as the best player on the team. And I mean, and everybody else is also doing it as well. So like that's the reason why, in terms of why I look at it, I was like, is it because
Isn't that for everyone?
it,
Isn't that true
no,
for every
that's
team?
what I'm saying. It's for everyone. It's not just Luka. There's like, yo, Luka, yeah, you're the best player on the team, but like, yo, if you're buying into it, everybody else is gonna buy into it. So it's like, yeah, I can't necessarily just say
is
it's
that
just
not
Lou's
the
Luka.
stance on this
demonstration of
is a greater
leadership?
discussion of what Hans just talked about him choosing Luka as MVP. There's a larger scheme of being down on Luka recently, and I wonder why. Because like everyone has Luka as MVP preseason always. He's always in the top 3, and then as the season goes on, he's not even discussed anymore. And that's not even when he was on the Lakers. When he was on Dallas as well. Why is that? Why
Their
how come
team,
how
their
come no one
team
views him
disappears.
as a
Their team,
viable
I
MVP
have a
candidate?
no,
hypothesis.
their team disappears except for the one team that they got to the ship.
And even that team that got to the chip, they were 6th seed, I believe.
Exactly, bro. They had a great.
They started the
Yeah,
year like they started the year. They were in a play-in until they made a couple
I'm
trades.
about to say
Rose up to the 6th seed.
they had a beat.
He's never won more than 52 games in a year. He's been between 47 and 52, and so I think you look at Luka.
Pretty good.
He comes in with expectations. Oh man, listen, Luka,
Exactly.
we get 60 wins this year with this level of talent.
Facts.
And
And he's
then
like, yo, you getting end up in 2 7 games, like 7 games, like yeah, like if you're really gonna be taking that step in terms of what I mean, like, yo, are you really gonna capitalize? But why did you get to them 7 games?
So now we're just determining players' greatness because they make it to 7 games. Not everyone's Michael Jordan, who's never
I'm
made it
not.
to game 7.
No, I'm
I don't
not
think it's
saying that. I'm saying Luka is so talented that I think the expectations of his team because of his talent are usually sky high. Like you look at this season, for example, right? There's some who are like, listen, the Lakers with their roster, they're exactly where they should be right now, right? Six sounds right when you look at the league. But there's some that are like full season to Luka with LeBron, Austin Reeves, they should be 3 or 4. So we having that same discussion now,
We're almost there.
right?
We're almost there. I'm just
You're
saying,
almost
we're
there. And
almost
you're
there.
almost not. We'll see. We'll
A
see.
couple games behind. I'm just saying.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But
Listen,
with
man,
those couple
the Knicks
games,
helped you by injuring Jamal, so you're good, man. Knicks helped you, man. Go
we
ahead.
did our part, man. You know,
Jamal
Jamal
Murray got injured?
Denny,
Yo, don't
trying to take out,
Yeah,
trying to
he
take
hurt
out
his
the
ankle.
West.
Well,
More
that,
like that,
that's what
man.
he gets because he always act different when he plays against us. He always thinks he's freaking prime Pete Maravich.
Yo, according to you, everybody plays differently. When
It's
they play.
true. How many times I gotta
Oh.
show you guys fucking receipts?
He got it. He got his hat on. He got his cone, his foil cone on. But I'll say this. One thing too, I think that has caused the dive in his approval ratings in terms of Luca is something we didn't talk about. I think he complains a hell of a lot. More so, and he was even getting these criticisms while he was in Dallas. He complains
he Caitlin Clark of the
heck
NBA.
of a lot to the point where it's to the detriment of his teams a lot, where he's not getting back on defense, the team scores, and he seems to be okay with that because he needs to get his point across. And I think everyone who is not a Laker fan is kind of tired of it. Like you're tired of seeing it and digesting it. You know, I thought to
As a
me,
Laker fan, you already saw it with LeBron, so it's like
No,
you're
Laker
just
fans
getting
are
a
tired
double
of it
dose
too.
of it. You're getting a double
Okay.
dose of it with LeBron and Luka now.
so yeah, so everybody's tired of it. So I think that's happening as well with the whole approval rating of Luka kind of going down. I mean, as long as his performance on the court doesn't dip too much, you guys are gonna have to live with it, and figure out how to move forward with him at where he's at right now. But you guys have bigger issues, like F says, with your rosters now. Granted, AR's been out for some time. LeBron did some time out. Luka, so it's you guys have never really had too much time together as the three of your main players to kind of find it, and now's your time. So hopefully you get it together and you make a run. I mean, the sky is high for you guys, right? You guys could make it as far as 3, but you guys could also be 6, 7. I hate to be that guy right there,
I hate
but
this guy.
But that's 6, 7,
you
8.
know,
Hey man,
No,
could
the
be
trend
that
is
way.
gone.
what
All right,
Hans is
old
saying
ass
is
man.
viable. No, but what Hans is saying is viable because weirdly, Phoenix can turn around and really jump up into that 6 seed.
All right,
And
they got more things to worry about, man. Their second best player just got arrested.
Christian,
Oh,
you
it's locked.
upset,
It's
you
locked down.
upset,
Eat
but
that
in
up,
terms of
man.
like, hey, at the end of the day, it's still viable. It's not.
It's a small weed charge. It'll be all right, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? But Phoenix should
It's sent
definitely
to the
jump.
mental
King could
institution.
jump into that LA. I mean, they could come to Trump LA in terms of getting to that 6 feet, like without question. So, what you guys in terms of looking like for the rest of these games, but
We'll see.
if you
Because
have a recipe of, if you're a recipe of LeBron, for like a better terms, like LeBron bitching and Luka bitching, bro, I don't see how that really translates.
So
that
if
shit.
you
guys,
if you look at the numbers, or at least if you agree with numbers or whatever, if you're like one of those people, the best unit for the Lakers right now is Luka AR with no LeBron. Actually,
It's been all season.
every lineup of LeBron with one of the big stars on the Lakers, AR Luka, is
Christian,
fucking awful.
But Christian,
only-
let's be
the
real.
The
only way-
LeBron unit by himself.
Like, but Christian,
LeBron
we've been
unit by
talking about
himself
this.
is the only viable option.
But Christian,
on the
like
Lakers
Christian,
team.
like this is nothing new that we've been talking about.
Okay,
Just
I didn't
like
say that.
Luka
I'm
as
just
a
bringing up. I'm
like
just
the
bringing up points. I'm just bringing up information.
And tell me if I'm tripping. This is literally like we talked about this in terms of like, yeah, okay, this is the succession plan. And it makes sense in terms of like, if it would be something that makes sense and it's effective, does that not make the succession plan? You know what I mean? Literally, for the folks that plan this, but okay, cool. This proves exactly what it is that we had in motion. So it's a matter of whenever LeBron decides to sunset.
So
All right.
to what you
ahead,
just pointed out,
wrap
my
it
bad, I bring that back to the JJ part, right? And I don't think JJ has been able to be graded fairly because he's been handed an impossible mission. But this is the gumbo
Mission
for
Impossible.
him. Right. This is the gumbo for him to figure out how to get mixed right. Right. Like to what Pop Mamba said. It was evident beginning of the season and since the beginning of the season that Luka AR pairing, with with some semblance of defense around them, works well. LeBron, we knew coming in, he's not a stand in the corner type, but neither is Luca or AR. It diminishes them. So when you have three somewhat high usage players on the court, it's going to be a challenge. LeBron lineups by himself are reasonably competent, right? So how do you mix that into something that is sustainable against the top teams in the league? And I just don't think they've been able to find that mix yet. Injuries didn't help, but they've just been off the whole season, even with the roster limitations that they
Payne Watson, Walker
Yeah.
Kessler. See you next year, guys.
have.
Yeah, I think they given the superstars that they do have on the team, the injuries didn't help them as well, and the complexities of, like Ev said, perfect gumbo that he needs to figure out the prime recipe that is this roster is going to be a feat for the Lakers. But you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, let's get on to our last topic: Magic City. That's the name of the topic.
I feel like
But
that's your topic, man. You as a resident expert.
nah, I mean, let's make this decision on there. Do we want to save Magic City for the end, or do we want to get on to it right now?
I mean, I don't think anybody, if you've gone to Magic City, walked up to the door and said, "Do we want to go in now, or do we want
Or
to wait
later?
a little while before we go in?" So
Very,
if that's
very
your
valid
thing,
points here.
if that's
Very
your
valid
thing,
points.
and we're here, we're in the parking lot.
We're
You
here,
been?
I
right?
love
You
We're
been?
here.
Paid for parking, you know.
Yo,
We're
valet
Chill
hit
out.
that 20, that 20 for the valet.
Chill out. I've only heard.
all right, let's jump into it. Let's jump
Yo,
into
we
it.
really had
So,
Christian cackling. That's a new one.
let's get into it. So the Atlanta Hawks have dubbed their game with the Orlando Magic City Mondays, right? For all who are familiar with Atlanta, Atlanta is huge with the strip club culture, really unrivaled by Miami, would be another city that has a huge strip club culture. Um, and basically, Magic City is an institution here. It is a staple here in Atlanta. It's been around for decades and will continue to be around. And the Hawks wanted to do something that the community could relate to. And that is literally a part of Atlanta. I wouldn't say the skyline, but it's a part of coming into Atlanta, right? The Magic City. You pass it on the way into downtown. So apparently this night has caused some ruffled feathers to a couple players, Luke Cornett specifically, who came out vocally and basically said he doesn't agree with what the NBA is doing. He think it's demeaning to women, and that the NBA should be supporting women in other manners and not in this fashion. He questioned whether the NBA is focusing on the right things and promoting such I'm trying to use the exact words he was saying, but basically promoting such lines of work that are not of integrity,
Salacious.
you know. So you know, he put that statement out there, and there's been a lot of people who are aligning with him. And then also Al Horford, who is known for being a great Hawk, along with being a great Celtic, right? Those are the two teams he's really known for, being a great Hawk and being a great Celtic. He's now a Warrior. He went and co signed Luke Cornett's, basically saying, well said. So there's a lot of issues being out there to the point where Magic City is making statements. But let me, as somebody who lives in Atlanta, who lives in the area, kind of put it in perspective. The whole Magic City Monday is to promote um, the connection to the Atlanta community. They're going to be serving the famous lemon pepper wings, which Magic City is known for. Their wings, their food, not really their
Those are tight.
dancers.
that tie into in terms of like how they in terms of the NBA, but Lou will.
Yeah, it's a time, but that wasn't a big thing though on
No,
that.
no, but in terms of like this particular topic, like yo, the NBA try to act like I mean, but like yo, like it was a big thing. Like yo, Lou will like lemon pepper. Lou will like was
Yeah,
a
it gives insight into what happened with Lou Will. He actually went there for food. He didn't go there for the dancers. Those in the community know also, like, compared to the other strip clubs, Magic City doesn't have the best dancers. That's what I'm saying. So it's known as a legacy spot for the food. I've never
Allegedly,
been,
that's what
not
Hans
saying
has heard. That's what Hans
yeah.
has
allegedly. That's what I'm
heard.
saying. Never been,
Allegedly.
never
I'm only
been.
bringing it up in terms of like the
So
NBA's history with you know what I mean in terms of players and with Magic City.
so they're gonna be serving
So which spot has the best dancers, Hans?
allegedly. Blue Flame has the best dancers. Allegedly, I've never been. Allegedly, Blue Flame.
Alleged
Off,
Miami
off of
did
Bankhead.
move King of Diamonds to Atlanta, but
Yeah,
that's
there's a
all.
King of
Interesting,
Diamonds.
interesting.
Allegedly,
Yeah,
All right,
allegedly.
cool. Yeah,
allegedly.
continue.
Yeah, but yeah. So so there's that's it. They're gonna be promoting Magic City. The wings. They're gonna have a hoodie. They're gonna give out to everybody who's there. I want to be clear. There's gonna be no dancers there. They're not bringing out dancers to shake their things. There's going to be no nudity. No Magic City dancers will be present in the Hawks State Farm Arena. So I don't understand why Luke Cornett and the like are in such a tizzy about this. Because if we want to be real, you need to be protesting these cheerleaders, these dancers that we have at these games. That's who's dancing. That's who's half naked at the game. It's not the Magic City dancers. That's what you need to be advocating for. If you're so worried about women having being shown in such a light, you need to get on the NBA about showing off all these women at the game every single time. But you're not doing that though. You're not doing that. You're going off of being triggered because strip club means something to you, and you're not understanding what it necessarily means to this demographic in Atlanta as a whole. So this thing, as somebody who's really never been, everybody knows me. I grew up in a super Christian household, so like even I'm like, yo, you're tripping, Luke Cornett. You're tripping. So that's my soapbox on it. The floor is open to any one of you guys to share your thoughts with the Magic City Monday. And also, I will say this though: Hawks marketing, gold star, not even gold, platinum star. Those tickets started at your average being about 150 to 200. They're at $500.
Yes,
Standing room. Ev, you've
yes.
been down here. You know how easy it is to get in a Hawks game or how it's been. Standing room, Ev, 250 to see the Orlando Magic. Standing room, get out of here. That is
Kind of wild
marketing.
that you didn't bring up like you know what I mean like how many games that you and I have gone together, but it's
It's all right. They know. Ev lived down here.
We
He knows.
we've all conveniently bought tickets in the standing room section,
Yes.
uh, with great views for low prices. So yes, to be at 250. So one, I mean, you said it perfectly. The part I was gonna spell out was the marketing of this is just incredible, right? Listen, Magic City, you like it or not, Magic City has been in the culture, it's been in the music, right? It's been out there for so long. Magic City Mondays, right?
no
It's a
question about
thing,
ATL. No
right?
question about
So whoever looked at the schedule and saw that they played the Orlando Magic on a Monday
On
and
Monday?
connected the dots from A to B, they deserve a promotion. That's it.
No,
I mean, they deserve a
listen.
promotion, man. That is
Look, and
incredible.
somebody that works in the advertising space is like somebody
Yeah,
was in the room
yeah.
like, yeah, listen, bro, like they're playing on Monday at Atlanta, bro. It's Magic City. Like, yo, you already had the lemon pepper Lou Will that they had with Atlanta in the past. Like, you have a perfect opportunity between having the Atlanta Hawks and playing the Orlando Magic. Just like, why not? You know what I mean? Let's go for it. And you know what? thankfully, because I've been in plenty of the meetings where they kill that. Somebody has that idea and they kill it and never even said. They were like, you know what? Let's go for it. And then what they did, they brought it to the client, i.e., the Atlanta Hawks, and they were like, you know what? Let's do it. And I'm sure somebody like of the whether it's the newer generation or just in general that are willing to take that risque type of leap and going into it, because the great things in terms of advertising, the great things in terms of like where you remember it, whatever was done, is one of those that's so simple that like it makes sense. I like, damn, yeah, I could have thought of that. So for the Atlanta Hawks and have the Magic City, like Atlanta Hawks and Orlando Magic, and then have a Magic City night, it's one of those is like, yeah, duh, it makes sense. And it's one of those that, yeah, for sure. It's a hit because it's just that.
I will say this. I hope that this type of connection and train of thought is upheld with this organization, because Atlanta, everybody knows Atlanta is different, right? In the hip hop culture, it's set apart, it's something different. And sometimes it's for the good reason, sometimes it's for the bad reason. But I will say this in terms of the Atlanta Hawks and connecting to what the community's into, and even our stars. One thing I'll say about Atlanta is New York has an awesome star role, right? Like when you're watching the game, when they go and pan and you talk about the stars, awesome. LA, awesome. When you pan, you see all the movie stars, awesome. I know Christian doesn't want to hear this. Miami, awesome star, right? When you watch the game at the star roles, like certain cities are known. And Atlanta, I think, has a great star role too. And to see the Hawks connecting, because number one, Ti's performing right in the halftime connection. Who's more Atlanta than Ti right now, especially with this beef with 50, connecting with them. And the other stars, Killer Mike, they're all promoting this, they're all backing this. And this is how I know people are not connected. All the other strip clubs who are not being promoted are backing this. This is just purely off of the culture. The Hawks have no intention of marketing with other clubs in that vein. This is purely off of we're promoting the culture of what we're here, and this is Atlanta. Let's pack this out. Let's show the nation what Atlanta is about. That's just what it is.
Real talk, like Hans, you could speak to this like, yo, at the end of the day, the after joint, joints come to the game dressed to the nines, flizzy. Like, yo, you're gonna see, oh, it's an event for me. Them joints come to the game dressed to the nines, making sure, like, yo, hey, again, there's gonna be, if that camera pan, even if it doesn't camera pan, if such and such pan, and they look, you catch me in whatever seats, they're out there dressed to the nines, and then on top of that, yo, whatever's happening afterwards, they're already dressed for that. Like, they're already prepared for what the after groove is.
I think that's gonna
So
be a lit Monday. I'll say that.
exactly.
The city's
So the
about to
point is
be
like it's already gonna happen. So why not capitalize on it? You know what I mean? Because it's not like, oh, you're generating this. No, it's already happening. Like, yo, no, this right here. No, yo, I feel you talking about, oh, let's not objectify when it's like my boy, respectfully, of course. They will be shaking their tail feathers at 12:41 a.m. Even if this does not happen, you know what I mean? This Magic City does not happen on Monday. So what all that's happening is you know what I mean, they're capitalizing and actually making it an experience in terms of with the Atlanta Hawks and larger than just like what you're seeing right now. So yeah, like to try to single it out and make it seem like, oh, there's something specifically that's being done to promote a particular type of lifestyle or so. Like, no, this is already happening on day to day, and like, yo, like Hans getting tribute. Yo, hey, as a matter of fact, we all went to the game together. We can all attest to the fact that, like, yes, we seen that. What the game is a vibe, and then the next is, you know what I mean. The after group is already prepared for.
yeah.
Can I say my
Last
piece before we move on, Hans? Because this topic actually has got me crashing the fuck out the whole week.
yeah, go ahead, brother.
NBA players who are against this, are the most hypocritical people of all time, because not only do they go to these establishments during their downtime with their teammates, but these motherfuckers cheat on their wives all the time. So for them to have some holier than thou
Wowzers.
stance that, you can't be promoting an establishment that has exotic dancers because of the children. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
This has nothing to do with the children. It has more to do with the parents who have to explain what Magic City is to their children. So they don't want to have the hard discussion. The conservative man in this country has been pissing me the fuck off, because they want to present themselves as a holier than thou people, but they're one of the most they're one of the best clients at these establishments.
Hey, you said what is that? Most hypocritical in terms of what they're talking about.
I thought we were leaving that part of the Luka discussion out of the pod this week. I'm confused, pod member.
No. Hold up. That's the same vein in where he was getting them them gear
man.
the beers was the same locker room.
What are we talking about?
Wowzers. I see what you did there, Ev. Oh man, Luka's splitting with his wife. Man, Magic
But I'm just
City.
saying,
Man,
Magic City Night is a G rate. It's gonna be G rated. It's not like they're gonna put
there's
stripper
kids
poles in
there.
half court and have these dancers, taking
Yeah.
off their clothes and stuff. Like, give me a fucking break, man.
I'll say
These
this.
kids do not care. These kids are not gonna be asking, "What's Magic City? Can we go?" Like, get the fuck out of here. It's not gonna happen.
That is going to be the same music
After
that they
the
play
game,
on
bro.
Wednesday night at the Hawks game.
Yeah.
So, I
You got
mean,
you got a whole arena in Memphis playing "Whoop That Trick," but no one gives a shit.
Yeah. I agree. I'll say this. Being here, what the Hawks are trying to do now is what other great arenas are doing. They're not selling you the game, they're selling you an experience, right? When you go into literally the top NBA arenas, they're selling you an experience. Yeah, the game's going on, but there's other ancillary things that you can do, that you can get into. This last game I went to for the Portland game, like the vibe is like you go watch the game, but if you're not interested in the game, you can literally walk around the arena and do different things. They had TV set up for 2K battles, people
Were you
battling it
interested?
out in 2K.
So people weren't interested in the Portland game. I'm trying to understand.
Listen, man,
I was going to crush them on
it
that.
was a blowout. It was a blowout.
I
You
was
know,
going to give you supporting documentation. State
but go
Farm
ahead.
Arena regularly rates as one of, if not the top NBA fan experience year after year. So
And that's what it is.
you're
They're,
on
No
point with
funny.
what you're saying.
No,
they're selling
no.
you an
Listen, no funny.
experience.
We literally the three of us have had fun at the. I mean,
We had a gospel concert, man. We
No.
watched the game
We did.
and we
Wow.
attended
Yo,
a gospel
Full
concert.
gospel concert.
Where do you get that?
Yeah, and we like pause and wow, oh, this is really happening full blown right now. Fire, absolutely.
Listen, man. Shout
Yeah,
out
I
to
forgot about
Silence.
it. Like, yo, Hans, yeah, absolutely, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Shout out to State Farm, man. Shout out to State Farm. Keep doing what you do. Keep selling the experience, because at the end of the day, that's your job. Keep doing your job.
That's it, man.
A
Fill
joke
them
before we
seats. Fill them
transition. A
seats.
joke only Hans will get. Y'all been calling me old in the chat. Offline. I called State Farm Arena Phillips Arena the other day in conversation.
Oh,
and kept it moving.
man.
So
I
Man,
appreciated
show
that.
your-
I appreciate
man,
it. I
relax,
appreciate
man.
that because I still don't believe in calling it crypto. So you know what I mean, like
Staples is still Staples.
yeah, it's still Staples, bro. Like yo, it just is what it is. Like, I'm with you. I'm with you on Phillips.
All right, let's
It
move
was-
on. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna compliment on the silver in my dear brother's beard. That's why I call it the Phillips. So we'll leave it at that.
There you go. Wow.
Tell you, boy,
Taking
shots.
shots, man. Shots being fired. All right.
Distinction.
Let's move on real quick. Last topic, rookie of the year. So this was much to do because we know, as F predicted, I'll give Ev on that. Cooper's been bending the corner and showing up and letting people know he's a legit player here. Also, Jason Kidd is definitely giving him the keys now. It's saying, hey, this is your offense. Do your thing. Do as you will. But Mr. Knipple, man, he's been right there. He's has the most threes in the NBA right now, setting records, getting play as a rookie. His average right is like 1 or 2 points shy of what Cooper's doing. I think Coop's at 20. He's about 18, 19 or so.
19.3 to 20.3.
So 19. Yeah, so they're 1 point off.
One
So, and
point,
then
one assist, one rebound more.
there you go. So it's really a tight race between those two. I know we have Edgecombe, who I like. I like his tenacity, his go for it in Philly. But what are you guys thinking about this rookie of the year race? Is Cooper in trouble?
Edgecombe. I don't know how many. I mean, in terms of the games that he needs to make sure that he plays to be able to, in terms of being eligible in the conversation. But also, it's just like in terms of how Philly has. I expected Philly to kind of lay it out on the line, right? And the last couple games he hasn't looked as such. And I don't know in terms of what Edgecombe, in terms of what he's kind of assimilating to, in terms of the dynamic of the team. But I kind of expect the Edgecombe to really just be like, you know what, doesn't matter how the uh the season plays out, I'm make sure that I'm gonna ball out to another level. And I'm a little iffy on that, because y'all know that Edgecombe was my pick for rookie of the year for sure.
I think Escone's had a great year. I think it just when you look at it right now, I think at this point it's coming down to Knipple versus Cooper, and it's one of those things that you talk about every year, especially from a rookie of the year standpoint, right? Do you put up outstanding stats on a bad team versus do you put up solid stats and you're contributing to winning? And this is one where those two dynamics are clashing head to head. When you have stats as close as they are, right? Cooper, yeah, he's had some milestones where he's been the youngest to score 40 something points, et cetera, et cetera. Khan leading the league in threes, setting the 3-point record for a rookie with like a month to go, right? Like he's gonna put that record in a place where it's not gonna be touched for a while. And the biggest thing to me is Khan's played 12 more games, and he's contributing to winning. Like the Hornets since January 1st, they're a top 10 team in the league. They've had an 8-game winning streak and a 6-game winning streak, right? They're threatening to make the playoffs. They're changing themselves as an identity, and he's been a key contributor to that. Now he's not the tip of the spear like Cooper is in Dallas, right? But Dallas hasn't been playing for much now for like a month and a half, probably 2 months, probably the whole season if we're being honest, right? So I'm just saying. So it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting from a voter standpoint. This is one that you're really gonna be able to nitpick, because it's like, okay, understand Cooper was the guy coming in. You know, he started as a favorite and he hasn't disappointed. But do we value just the individual development, or do we value his contribution to winning, especially when the
I
stats
respect it, man, but you got to look at against the players like he's playing with on a side by side on his team. And
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, so like a guy like that, I respect in terms of what he's doing over in Dallas. But the best guys, you're not doing it and showing out with the best guys on the floor with you, as opposed to some of these other rookies that are in the conversation.
I don't know. I actually go against that grain. I feel like it's harder to do it by yourself than with other people. So the defensive schemes, Edgecombe and Knipple don't have to worry about versus Cooper Flag has to worry about. He's the target. When people play Philly, Edgecombe isn't the target. Max is the target. When people play Charlotte, Knipple's not the target. LaMelo or Miller, or you get what I'm saying? They're the target. So I feel like those other two are playing more free than Cooper is, and they don't have as much pressure to perform like Cooper is. But what I love about this conversation is that we're being forced to nitpick about what are the qualifications for Rookie of the Year, which lets me know that this class is a good class. Because when's the last time we did that with Wemby and Chet, and before that, when was it this tight with this many players? So to me, I love that we're having this conversation, because it lets us know that the future is great in the NBA. We have some talented young players who are going after it, and we have some great basketball to look forward to in the upcoming years. So this conversation to me is great that we're having it, and that we're being forced to actually each person figure out what are the qualifications for Rookie of the Year when literally in the past couple of years, right? It's been unanimous
cut.
without saying it. So it's definitely a great conversation that we're having, guys. So any last 10-second remarks before we wrap up, fellas?
By the time you hear this tomorrow, the Knicks will have beaten the Lakers.
Hey,
you're out there.
put it out there.
Wow, with the last 5 seconds left.
All right. I'm talking now, Papa. You can mute Evan's mic. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. As always, hit us up on our social medias, interact with us, check us out on YouTube. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, give us a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you can keep up with us every week. Be sure to follow us on all our socials at the 3on3 Podcast. Hey, got a question, topic you want us to talk about? Hit us up on our email at 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate y'all. Tune in next week.